Hello everyone, welcome to Current Affairs for Beginners, a unique initiative by Lloyd's Loans to help the beginners while reading Hindu newspaper. Before starting our today's discussion, let's see what are the answers for the questions from yesterday's video. The first question is, which of the following is or true about no confidence motion? Yesterday we have seen that according to the rules of procedure and code of business in Lok Sabha, any member of the house can move a no confidence motion. Any member can move it. That member need not give the reason for moving a no confidence motion. Once the speaker has come to the opinion that the motion is proper, then he will read out the motion to the house. And a minimum of 50 members should accept it. If not accepted, then the motion will fail. If it is accepted, then the speaker will announce a day when it has to be discussed. And that day should not be more than 10 days from the day the motion is accepted. And it is moved against entire Council of Ministers and not against an individual minister or private members. And it can be moved only in Lok Sabha, not in Rajya Sabha. So, from these statements, it should state the reasons for its adoption in the Lok Sabha. No, the member need not mention the reason for its adoption. It can be moved against the entire Council of Ministers only. Yet, it has to be moved against the entire Council of Ministers only, not against the individual ministers or private members. So, only second statement is correct. The answer here is B. The second question is, consider the following statements about voter verifiable paper audit trail. These machines were first used in a by-election in Nagaland in 2013. Yes, the VVPAT contains the name of the candidate and the symbol of the individual candidate. Yes, the machine which is attached to the EVM, that is electronic voting machine, will generate a paper slip which will have name of the candidate and the symbol of the party. So as both the statements were correct, here the answer is C. Now let's start our today's discussion. Our first article is Fugitive Offenders Bill passed. From this, today we are going to see who is the fugitive economic offender and why this bill is needed and what are the provisions of this bill. First of all, let us see who is this fugitive economic offender. Fugitive economic offender is an individual against whom an arrest warrant is issued by the Court of India for committing a offence, like scheduled offence. According to this law, there were a list of offences. If he commits any of this offence that was scheduled as per this law, then if an arrest warrant is issued by the court and if he leaves the country after the arrest warrant was issued, if he leaves the country to avoid this criminal prosecution, or if he refuses to return to the country to avoid this criminal prosecution, then that individual is called as fugitive economic offender. Why do we need this bill? After the recent financial frauds, especially the 13,000 crore PNB scam, where the diamond merchants Nirav Modi and Mehul Choksi fled the country, it has become very clear that the existing civil and criminal provisions were not adequate to deal with the severity of the problem. So, they have brought this Fugitive Economic Offenders Bill. Now, when this bill becomes a law, this will empower the center to seize both the local and overseas assets of the alleged offenders like Vijay Mallya and Nirav Modi, who chose not to return to India to face the law even after these arrest warrants were issued. The main provisions of this bill are, it will target the fugitives for offences that were exceeding 100 crore. That means this law is applicable only when the monetary value of the offences is more than 100 crore. As per the provisions of this bill, all the individuals who were attempting to escape the Indian legal process from the date of the enactment of this law will be covered. like loan defaulters, fraudsters, offences under tax laws, and Benami properties will also be covered. That means they will confiscate even the Benami properties also. And the Enforcement Directorate will be the apex agency for implementing this law. Yesterday, this bill was passed in Lok Sabha to bring back these white-collared criminals who fled the country to face a trial in India. Our next article is Blood Moon to occur only on July 7th midnight. Let us see what is this blood moon. We know that an eclipse takes place when one heavenly body like moon or planet that comes into the shadow of another heavenly body. As we know that moon moves in an orbit around the earth, and the earth at the same time will orbit around the sun. Then sometimes this earth between the sun and the moon will block the sunlight that is being reflected by the moon. Then the moon will be under the shadow of the earth. This is called as lunar eclipse. And this lunar eclipse is of two types. One is total lunar eclipse, the other is partial lunar eclipse. When the moon is completely under the shadow of the earth. This will happen when the sun and the moon are exactly on the opposite sides of the earth. Then it is called as total lunar eclipse. If the moon is partially under the shadow of the earth, then it is called as partial lunar eclipse. As we said that during total lunar eclipse, the moon remains fully in the earth's shadow. At the same time, only a small amount of light from the earth will fall on the moon, that is during sunset and sunrise. And these light waves, when they fall on the moon, they appear red in color. And this redness depends upon the pollution and cloud cover in the atmosphere. And this colorful effect is called as blood moon. We should also know other types like called as blue moon. When there are 2 full moons in a month, then the second full moon is called as blue moon. And the other concept is super moon. We know that the moon orbits around the earth in the elliptical path. The point when the moon is closest to the earth, if the moon is here, it is closest to the earth, then it is called perigee. And when the moon is farthest from the earth, it is called as apogee. And if the full moon occurs at its perigee, it is called as super moon. And as it is a rare event, it has to satisfy 2 conditions. That is, the moon must be closest to the earth, that is at its perigee position, and it should be a full moon for a super moon to occur. These are the 2 conditions. At this point, the moon will be observed as 30% brighter and 14% larger, which can be observed even with the naked eye. Our next article is Women Believe in Sabarimala Deity, Chief Justice of India. According to the Rule 3 of Kerala Hindu Places of Public Worship Rules 1965, the entry of women between the age of 10 to 15, that is the menstruating women, were banned to enter into this Sabarimala temple, which amounts to discrimination and violation of rights that were related to equality and gender justice, and also untouchability. Just because the women of this age were considered as impure for attaining womanhood. Why does prevention of women's entry into the temple is discriminatory in nature because it denotes a patriarchal and partisan approach, and it is taking away the woman's right against discrimination which is guaranteed by the Article 15 Clause 1 of the Constitution, and it is curtailing her religious freedom that was assured by Article 25 Clause 1. And also this prohibition of women into the temple just because of her womanhood and the biological features that were associated with this womanhood is derogatory to women, which the Article 51 Clause A Clause E aims to renounce. And this classification based on this age is an act of discrimination that is based on sex. In 1991, in S. Mahendran versus Secretary Travancore case, the Kerala High Court has supported this restriction on women. And this judgment went unchallenged for 15 years. And now the Supreme Court has said that since this Sabarimala temple is receiving all the finances from the consolidated fund of Kerala and Tamil Nadu boards, then it is a public place that can be visited by anybody without any discrimination on caste, creed or religion or gender. From the prelims point of view, just note down what are the articles like fundamental rights or the directive principles of state policies that were associated with this article and what are the various judgments. Our next article is lynching and the law. What is meant by lynching? That is beating a person to death by a group of people with a common objective. From past few days, we are hearing various issues that were related to this lynching, like because due to the spread of fake rumors on social media like WhatsApp. Due to these false rumors, people are conceiving innocent people as child lifters or child kidnappers and they are beating them to death. Even 2 days ago, we have seen a mentally challenged woman was beaten, thinking that she is a child kidnapper. Even previously, we had these cow vigilantes who, in the name of protecting cow, had attacked lots of innocent people. And as this law and order is a state subject, various states have taken initiatives to control this lynchings. For example, Maharashtra government 2 days ago has given certain helpline numbers to the public to contact the police if they hear any false rumors and if they find someone being attacked. And the UP government, to handle this worrisome issue, it has come up with a concept called digital volunteers, who will be linked to the district level WhatsApp groups that will be linked to the DGP headquarters. They will pick these volunteers from a variety of backgrounds and professions, and these people will be socially influential and who will be active on social media with a clean image. And these volunteers will help the police in tackling the rumors and prove those false rumors with facts and put those facts in the public domain personally or through these WhatsApp groups. Our next article is a vote of no confidence from the farmers. From this article, we are going to see about a program called Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana. What is this Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana? This program is aimed to provide sustainable production in the agricultural sector by providing financial support to the farmers who are suffering crop loss or damage because of unforeseen events like floods, and to stabilize income of the farmers by ensuring continuance in farming and encouraging the farmers to adopt innovative and modern agricultural practices and to provide credit flow in the agricultural sector that will contribute to food security, crop diversification, and will enhance the growth and competitiveness of the agricultural sector. The crops that were covered under this scheme were food crops like cereals, millets and pulses, oil seeds, annual commercial and annual horticultural crops. These are all the crops that were covered under this program. This is a crop insurance scheme with the theme of one nation and one scheme. Now let's see our today's questions. The first question is, consider the following statements. When two full moons appear in the same calendar month, then the second is termed as blue moon. The supermoon occurs when the full moon is at the closest point of its orbit to the earth, which is also called the perigee. And our next question is, consider the following statements. Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana is a crop insurance scheme with one nation, one scheme as its theme, and crops covered under it are food crops and oil seeds. Try to answer these questions and post them in the comment box, and answers for these questions will be discussed in tomorrow's video. Thank you.